Hello, and welcome to another episode of BergenStages Television, our entertainment magazine here at Bergen Community College. I'm Jim Bumgardner, your host. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Bergen Alumni Theater Company, who are now in their second season and are in rehearsals for a show called Cartoon, directed by Christine Dunning, and will be opening on June 14th in the Interhall Lab Theater. And what better way to talk about the show than with two of the actors and current BCC theater students, Ethan Bunnell and Allie Fortenberry. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, guys.
Thank you for having
us. How are you doing?
Good.
Happy summer.
Happy summer, yeah.
It's here. I know that we've had you on the show before, but it's been a few months. So just if you could refresh the audience of how you got here, Allie. I'll start with you. How you got here, what brought you to BCC, what you're studying, all that kind of stuff.
I'm an acting major here at BCC. I'm from Florida. I decided.
What part?
Jacksonville, Florida,
All right.
so practically Georgia. I wanted to pursue acting, and I thought, what better way to do that than go up north towards the city? I knew I needed to go to college, so I looked up colleges near me, and Bergen popped up. I took a theater class, and I never went back.
And we were so lucky to. And I'll come back to what you've done when you were in Florida, but let me talk about Ethan. Your trek's a little different.
I've lived in Jersey my whole life.
Yes.
I kind of knew I was going to be in Bergen from the time I got to sophomore year of high school. It just seemed like the appropriate track. My sister did the same thing. I kind of melded into theater throughout my high school experience, started doing shows in around my sophomore year.
High school was... Which high school?
Dumont High School.
I was giving a plug for Dumont.
Yeah.
And what shows, because you were an athlete as well.
Yeah, I started off doing wrestling.
Right.
And then I kind of fell out of that a little bit. And I actually got detention from the theater teacher, Miss Tux, and she kept me in detention for chewing gum in her drama class. And she had it lined up with a forensics practice. We used to be part of NJDFL, where we'd go and compete with other theaters, other high schools' theater departments. And I saw the practice, and I was like, I could do that, and it got me extra credit at the time. But then I enjoyed it so much, so I stayed in it. And by the time I got to Bergen, I wanted to be a theater major.
Oh, cool. Cool. So, and you had done a couple. I remember Godspell was one.
Godspell was my senior musical. That was the last thing I did in high school. Because we actually did twice. The first Godspell got canceled by COVID, and rather than get a new show, we kept the rights to Godspell and just recasted and redid it senior year outside.
Oh, cool.
Which was fun.
That's right.
With that was with Miss Lordi.
Cool. That's awesome. And Allie, down in Florida, in Jacksonville, you were more music.
I was, theater. Yeah. My high school did not have a theater program. We had a amazing chorus program that had a show choir, which is the main thing
Glee.
I did.
It's Glee.
It's Glee, yes. It's exactly what you're thinking. So I was the dance captain and choreographer for that for a couple of years, and then.
Did it tour?
We did.
And where did you? Like a state competition kind of stuff?
We did state competitions. We did out-of-state competitions. Oh. We've performed on cruise ships, Disney World, Universal, Six Flags.
Oh, amazing.
The farthest we went was Mexico.
Wow, but that's still incredible.
Yeah, we were the only show choir in the county, so we didn't have to compete for a lot of those things. We just sort of...
The fact is that to have that experience is just incredible.
It was super cool. My favorite is Disney. I have Mickey Disney performer ears because I got to perform there. Then after I graduated, which was before COVID, I did opera for about a year, 2 years, and then COVID happened, and so.
You sang opera, or you actually performed in opera?
I sang operas, accompanied with orchestras.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. And then music's kind of part of your life, but more musical theater now.
Musical theater now, yeah. I did some theater when I was younger. I did one production in high school, and then some in middle school, and then I moved up here, and I just remembered why I liked acting so much. Music will always be my first thing, but I love acting.
That's cool.
And so I switched it more to musical theater since I already knew how to sing and dance.
And the two worlds just meld beautifully. Opera's a little on the, there's some opera training that has to get into what you do in musical theater,
a little
depending
bit
on the show. So, cool. So, Ethan, I'm going to get back to you now, talking about wrestling, and I know you like stage combat, and I know you like stage combat too, Allie, but it's kind of helped I guess, some of the moves and the rolls and the falls in shows, but I also know you two work at medieval times, and you're a knight that gets to ride around on a horse and fall off the horse, and
Yes.
you're not the hero of the show yet?
Not quite.
We're getting there.
Not quite.
Okay.
I'm usually more a little mean to the crowd, actually. It's more fun when you get a kid to boo you. It's really fun to be mean to the children. Only during the show. Afterwards, you can be nice to them again. But it gets them more into it if they have something to hate.
And you're playing a fun character, and I know you do as well, because for lack of a better word, it's called a winch, yes?
Yes.
The servers are winches.
I'm a winch.
But you certainly have a character you play to your audience.
That's for
so
sure.
Everybody's acting in
you have an
medieval
opportunity
times.
to kind of choose what you want to be. Like, I don't have to be mean. Depending on what night I am, I'll be nice, or I'll be a little cockier, depending on the night.
And it's a lot of improv, especially for you. I know you've got a lot of improv, but there's much on top of your stage combat, improv, acting with your audience, interaction is total immersive experience there. So I think it's great. We don't think about that as a direction to go in as a theater person, but it truly is, because it's really a very acting chops, stage combat, horseback riding, all these kind of things you get to sharpen those tools. So I think that's kind of cool. And you're here at Bergen. You're still taking classes because of work. I know you guys are not rushing to get through the program, which is fine too. I think we get we think of it as a 2-year college, but I think we forget it's a 2-year college because we're freshman, sophomore years, not you have to do it in 2 years. It's just that we're not juniors and seniors here, so it's just kind of an interesting thing. So the fact that you work, which a lot of our students do, takes time, and not trying to do full loads of credits, and then we get you here a little longer, which is kind of nice. But what's some of the classes that you take while you're here at Bergen, just to kind of let our audience know what an AFA in theater
I mean, there's always the gen eds. Everyone's got to take them. But with ours, we've taken a lot of acting classes, audition techniques, basic acting. Then there's also things like costume design, stage makeup, sets and lighting, things that are sort of what some would consider backstage work, but that every actor needs to know. Everyone needs to know what goes into making a set, what goes into making a costume, doing your makeup, because you never know when you're going to have to do it.
You might have to do it, or at least you have an appreciation for those that do.
Yeah, there's kind of a cool graduating ladder of the classes that you go through in the AFA. So you start off, the first 2 I took were stagecraft and lighting and basic acting, which was a cool semester because I had never done any backstage work. But by the end of it, I was with Tom that whole semester. I was like, dang, there's a lot of work that goes into letting me stand on stage and run around. That's pretty cool. So then I started going up there, and the acting classes with mostly Lee, I think, is primarily the acting instructor, at least when I was taking class.
With scene study and
scene study and audition techniques, voice and movement.
Oh, right.
Was a lot of fun. That kind of is when I got to be with myself. Like, okay, I enjoy the backstage stuff, but I'm here to hone myself as an actor. So those are the classes that I really enjoyed. But seeing everything was really cool. Like when you get up to the top of the program, not I guess the top, but towards the end with Director's Lab and TPW, where your professors kind of start to let you. They take their hands off a little and they let you explore everything that you've been learning about.
To practically, use it a practical purpose of building your own sets or hanging your own lights.
Because I've done both at this point. I did both Director's Lab and then TPW the following year. It's a very cool experience.
Oh, cool. That's great. Yeah. But, and then you've also had opportunity to take voice classes and chorus. So you still sing while you're here, and then both of you been in 4 musicals now here?
3.
Oh, 3. Yeah, World Goes Round.
Pudding.
World Goes Round. La Mancha.
Mancha. Oh, I was like, oh yeah. The years didn't go by that fast. And so, what shows have you been in? Those are the musicals that you've been in. So I know I'm making you name a lot of them, but
so we
both did Pudding.
Both
that
did
was
Pudding.
when we first
that was
got
your first
here.
show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we both got here a little late for
That's
Wolves.
a Christmas pudding.
A
We call it
Christmas
pudding.
pudding.
It's
A
funny how
Christmas
theater people
pudding.
will do that. They'll just
Just
kind of
abbreviate.
nick off everything
Yep.
for a show's name and just kind of give
Everything
it like
got
La
abbreviated.
Mancha, not Man of La Mancha.
So-
Thank goodness Rumors was a one-word name.
After Pudding was Jurors, which I did.
See,
And I
that's
did
12 Angry Jurors.
12 Angry Jurors.
12 Angry
But
Jurors.
we'll call it Jurors.
And I did hair and costume on that show.
And then there was Scapan, not an abbreviation.
Nice,
Just
nice.
Scapan, which we both did.
We both were in that. then
Crucible, which you did.
Crucible,
The
Crucible,
Crucible.
The Crucible.
which I did. Rumors,
Rumors,
you
which I did.
World Goes
World
Round.
Goes Round.
We both did.
Radium Girls.
Neither
of
of us
you
did. That was the year
We were
that
at work.
I got the job at Medieval. So I started.
right. And you
Radium
were
Girls
working
was
your
right
two
in
shops.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Was right in that area where I was starting to be like, do you want to be a knight? And I was like, yeah, I want to be a knight. So
And
I was
then-
writing.
So you had to commit
You
to being there.
Did a Midsummer Night's
then
Dream.
That's
that
right.
did
Bergen.
Midsummer. That
Right.
was the second.
We actually skipped because you've been in
Because
two
we
Bergen
did
Alumni Theater groups.
Manor of Murder.
Yeah. So it's wonderful that we have this Bergen Alumni Theater group here because they're now in their second season. And you have been in two of them. You've been in three. You were in Manor of Murder as well, right? So they've done three productions, and you've done all three of them. So what's wonderful that they do is Christine Dunning, Ray Parente, Oliver Hancock's, a few of them got together and decided they wanted to do this alumni theater group. I don't know how much you know about all this kind of stuff, but part of it was to mentor and work with current students to be a part of their productions, and which has kind of helped. And you guys were both in Midsummer Night's Dream. Why do I feel like you were?
You know,
You should have been.
I was in Florida.
You were in Florida. So this is your first
This is
with the
my
Bergen
first,
Alumni.
yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought you were two, but you've done all three. So you made up for
Yeah.
Allie's
Pick up
Allie's
slack.
here. Cool. So I know we want to talk about more about cartoon in just a second, but I just want to talk about being a part of this alumni theater. How is it? Is it expanded kind of your knowledge of theater, your appreciation? Is it kind of like TPW directing that you've been able to apply what you've done in classes and use it? What are they leaning on you as actors for?
I mean, it feels very professional. I feel like they try and make it comfortable for the Bergen students who might be more used to how things run in the ordinary BergenStages season. Because I show up and I feel like they know what is expected of me. So I come in and I do my acting, I do my job as an actor, and they have all their talented crew and stuff. It doesn't really feel like TPW because I don't feel the need where even though
paint a
they
set or do
are
any-
fellow like students and alumni, I don't feel like I need to go up there and be like, well, what if the lights did this? That's just not my place. So I get to show up and just commit to what I'm there to do to help make the project better.
Cool. So more like a
it's very
professional
nice.
thing. You feel
It's
like a
very
professional actor
professional.
coming in, doing your bit, and taking off, and let the company run itself.
Yeah, and I mean, it helps that Christine Dunning is our director, and she's amazing. And it's just very helpful, I think, for Bergen students who might be a little intimidated by you and Lee and Tom and Peter, and people have been doing this forever, and they might just be starting out. They're also understanding and just welcoming that it's going to make them feel comfortable in a way to sort of see theater and be in theater. And it's just fun.
Oh, good. And it's just fun.
It's fun.
You know,
very
that's what
fun.
you want. It's like, if I'm going to do this, I just want to have a good time doing it. And they certainly have found a way to make it fun.
They're so committed. They go so 100% into everything. Like in Midsummer, when I walked in and Christine had finished the set, the cast walked in the day the set was done, and we were like, "Oh my god,
Totally amazing.
when did this happen?"
Yeah. I don't even know how she knew some of those techniques. It's
So
like,
they're-
how do you know to even do that? Who taught you this? So it's just kind of it's great to have them as former students
yeah.
now doing this and running their own company. And I see some behind the scenes that you don't see, what they're kind of going through and putting these things together. But it's great to have them use the space during the summer and to open it at doors for our theater students to be a part of the company there. And so that you guys all got together and now you're just coming in and doing these rehearsals for this particular show. But we're going to talk about the plot of the show itself when we after we take a break. But I do want to also talk about the audition process and how similar those were to a professional kind of audition there. So why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back. So we're just going to take a very quick break and then we'll come back and talk to Ethan and Allie about cartoon. Thank you.
Why come to Bergen? Our Bergen community spans far and wide. Throughout Bergen County, the state of New Jersey, and, in a very real way, the world. From alumni and local residents looking for ways to become part of our Bergen community, the college offers a variety of opportunities, such as Anna Maria Saccone Theater. Students also choose Bergen because it provides students with a well-rounded educational experience and affordable tuition. No matter where you want to go, Bergen will help you get there.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
When people think of scholarships, most think they can never get one. But thanks to Bergen Community College Foundation, it's possible for any student to obtain a scholarship. From students who are first generation to those in the LGBT, students who come from across the globe to those born right here in Bergen County. There's something for everyone. So how can we support this foundation? By donating and spreading the word. To learn more about what this foundation has done for the students, visit their website, foundation.bergen.edu, to learn more. You can help us help others achieve their dreams.
Hello and welcome back to BergenStages Television. Today we're talking to Allie Fortenberry and Ethan Bunnell about the upcoming production of Cartoon by our Bergen Alumni Theater Group. It's directed by Christine Dunning, and you have fight direction by alumnus Kevin Mayfus, who's working on the show. Oliver Hancock is your stage manager.
Yes.
I think Jill Miller
Jill's
is
on lights.
doing lights.
Yes.
I can't remember who's doing set. Stephen Porter was working on the set. I'm not sure if that's what's happening with the scenery and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great alumni gift put together. But I'm so fortunate that we have Christine Dunning, who's been through the BergenStages process, and hopefully some of the great things that she's kind of taken from us has been applied to what you guys have done. And I'm assuming, I'm going to start with the auditions, that they were as comfortable as professional of an audition process, or what did you do? I know you were reading, but did you do?
So
There was a reading and a fight.
there was a
portion.
reading and fight depending on certain characters. So everyone read when you came in. You fill out the audition sheet just like any Bergen show. Anybody read, and then depending on if Christine saw you as a certain person or anything like that, they would have you learn certain fights, because not everyone fights, not everyone falls. So it was just sort of to see what you could do, and I loved the fight portion of it. I always love fight portions of auditions.
They are fun. Yeah, you did. She kills monsters.
Yeah.
You didn't stop fighting, so you kind of into that. Well, actually, both of you did a lot of the fighting, and she kills monsters.
Yeah.
You died a lot, and she kills monsters.
Yeah, yes, I did.
So you fought with each other. Now, did you know this show? A Cartoon is not a well-known show, so
Nope.
it's like, did you know what you were even auditioning for when you came in there?
I did,
Oh, okay, good.
because I read it
You
beforehand.
read the script.
Because I have a tendency to do that before any audition, just so I can sort of get a grasp of what the characters are and everything. So
Which is great. You recommend an actor doing that sort of
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
100%.
I was able to read snippets of it that she shared with me, and that we were kind of talking about. Oh, I don't really know what the characters are in this, because usually when I go into an audition, I'm trying to think like, what would the character, like what would they want to see out of this character? That I didn't really have any of that to go off of.
And I don't know
in
that
this
there's any
particular-
YouTube versions of the show.
There is
That
not.
was the
I
thing.
didn't think so. So
Usually
you
I'll
can't
try
watch
and
somebody-
watch a production just to see
Just
like
to
an
get an idea.
interpretation. But
You don't want to
there's-
mimic them, but it kind of gives
there's
you an idea of the
nothing.
style of the show or something like that. But there was nothing. So this is harder to do it that way. But you did read it, and you recommend actors do that
Yeah.
Always.
to be familiar with the play and be open to any part. Obviously, you were. You didn't. You know, it wasn't. It's kind of a lot of interesting characters in this play, so it didn't really matter to you who you got to play there. But you are playing the damsel, and you're playing the suitor. So you're actually
kind of counterparts.
Lovers?
to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
pursuing each other. It's such a interesting play.
Yeah.
I want to say a satire. It really, it kind of pokes fun at television and our obsession with the violence that's in television and escapades of lovers and just kind of makes fun of what we watch in television. Does that sound kind of right?
100%. I mean, our characters it's the typical, they're going to be together, but they're never going to be together. You just got to sit there and watch them want each other from apart.
It's like, why isn't this happening? He brings the wrong gift every single time until the last time, comes in with the wrong gift that just doesn't quite win her heart over. So you're going, oh, that one didn't do it, but she seems tempted. And that's what's always interesting, that he brings a gift, and I don't want to spoil it for you because there's so many nuances in the show that could take it in the wrong direction. But you bring a gift that you would not typically.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Good. Wouldn't have for a love interest, but you don't take it, but you kind of are interested in it. What's that all about? It's hard to play these characters, so I'm interesting to.
They are. There's a lot of sitting down and talking about why the characters are what they are, because they're all
good.
I mean, they're all nuances. They're all things you've seen in TV, but they're played in such a strange way. So to be tempted to take gifts that aren't normal, it's so weird to just sort of think about why when you get a normal gift, you don't like it, but when you get something outlandish, you're like, well, yay.
There's a flirtiness to it and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's a flirtiness. I think it's the, oh, okay, you're giving me something different? That's fun.
And how do you find, and I will give the spoiler for yours, you don't say anything. you just come out and you are the pretty suitor.
I kind of have to be big with my emotions and stuff, but I think it's because she's always happy to see him. Even if she doesn't take the gift, she's always a little excited that he's there. So I think it comes from that, it's more the thought that counts. He's so eager to do it. He always comes back and tries to make this grand gesture to her. And then even when it doesn't work, he pouts for a little while, and then he gets an idea. He comes back, it happens again. But he always comes back. He always comes, and he's just as happy to do it the next time.
And it's hard to play these kind of characters, isn't it? Because they're not your typical, oh, I get it, I can do a character sketch of this particular person. So you really have to look at each moment in this play, and it's done in episodes. So you can look at your episodes throughout and figure out.
Yes.
Right.
And ours have no text together. We have no spoken dialogue between each other.
So it's all nonverbal. You feed off of her reaction, which of course, breaks your heart, pouts, whatever you want to use with it. And you're tempted the minute you see him, you light up when he walks in the room. Not like our rock star, but you don't do anything with a rock star. Do you guys do anything with the other characters?
No.
In the beginning, you are, and the opening.
We all sort of interact in a way. It's kind of like it's more like a common room in a dorm, and all these different episodes. Like if all the bits from Sesame Street came in and hung out in one room, it's not how it goes in the show. You go. Right. The camera cuts and you're in Oscar's trash can, or you're in Elmo's house or something.
Yeah.
But now it's all just one living room. So they don't really fit together. The stage looks a little odd with all the mixed matched portions of a show.
But it's a TV show. So we know we're on the set of a children's TV show. And I'm using children lightly because I think it's PG-13. I think don't bring the little ones to this because the subject matter goes.
Kids show gone wrong.
Yeah, show gone wrong, definitely gone wrong. I was kind of teasing it as a Pee-wee's Playhouse, but it's not that. No. It's like, it goes dark and shows the underbelly of television.
Makes some interesting commentary on how the world is beyond television.
Yeah. Totally interesting choice in plays too. I mean, just fascinating to do it. So you start out with this sing-songy kind of, yay, we're at this wonderful thing, and then it just kind of anarchy is pursued, and everyone's chasing and all these ins and outs, stage combats. People come, people go. So it's not. That's where the children's theater kind of gets lost. Except we in the audience are a part of the studio audience for this TV show, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you, as suitor and damsel, know that you're at the audience? Do you know your audience is there? I know some of the other characters talk right to the audience.
I do.
You talk, that's right. So you know they're there. Do you know them from the beginning on? Or is there any look for approval because you don't get to talk? It's like
Once the theme song ends, I don't really address them again.
the audience isn't there.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the show world. My character is entirely focused on just
Pursuing her and getting the
getting the
answer you
damsel,
want.
yeah.
That's it. Just kind of blinders are on as well. But you don't. You
I'm aware. I like my character because she's aware of things. She's not the smartest. So like she knows they're there, but I don't think she knows what they are. They're just sort of like props.
kind of in the way for what you're hunting for.
Yeah. They're just in my way. They're just sort of an obstacle I have to maneuver around. Like,
So nothing, their reaction or nothing you don't even feed on, you don't even pay attention to.
don't even care. I just know they're there, and I know they're watching us.
So you do know. Not Allie doesn't know that. Damsel knows.
Damsel knows they're there and that they're watching, but she just doesn't seem
play
to
them.
care.
Doesn't play them as.
She's just there. She's pretty. She wants her man to notice her, and he doesn't, and that's annoying. And she just has a good time, and she knows they're there. They're just sort of in her way.
And like the blinders on, you don't really care about anybody else in your cast after the opening number. That kind of your own world, and kind of you are pursuing. I'm going to say the hammer. That won't make any sense to you, but they're pursuing the hammer. Everybody's looking for the hammer.
Change.
But it really, you kind of go into each other as opposed to you're looking for it. But you're
Yeah,
just
once things change and the plot starts kind of rolling, the characters still kind of default to who they were already with. Like our two anime girls stick together.
Right.
Suitor and damsel stick together.
They team up to go do what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Because essentially it's like if you were doing a show on Broadway and you do it 8 times a week, everything is always cut and dry the same, and then one night somebody just doesn't show up for their cue. And all the actors are left on stage to be like, what do we
Let's do this.
Who's gonna
Let's
improv and who's gonna just skip a page and go to where that character's not on stage anymore? All the characters kind of adapt differently to the weirdly changing environment that they've been in.
Such a different type of theater. Have you ever done anything like this before?
No.
And it's hard. I want to put my finger on it because I call it a satire. And I don't know if satire is fair because it's just kind of a social commentary on what television is today and where it's going, and really politics and society and all that. It really is a very current play that really touches on what's going on here. So now you're in rehearsals. You're heading. There's a lot of stuffed animals.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of stuffed animals
I get
everywhere.
a bear.
And then there's a grand leader that everybody kind of listens to.
Yes.
I can't remember who's playing which part.
Victoria is playing Esther.
Esther,
who is
who's
in
kind of
charge.
the woman in charge of this
Yes.
thing, and kind of the
Rules with an iron
matriarch, but
fist.
that's not going to be a good thing for this play to call it that. She's just kind of the leader of this the society that has been created in it. Good. And so, and everything falls apart, but it kind of gets put together by the end of the play. Again, with audience involvement, and then also applause coming in from louder places and all that kind of stuff. So you know, if we don't get it from the live audience, we're getting it from this taped-in audience. So you get in rehearsals, and then you open June 14th for 2 weekends. So it runs like BergenStages. So it'll be in the Interhall Lab Theater, opening on the 14th, 15th, and then the following weekend, Thursday, Friday, and 2 shows on Saturday.
Yes.
So 7 performances. You can get your tickets at tickets.bergen.edu. Guys, I can't believe our show's over with, but we've talked so much about cartoon, about the Bergen Alumni Theater Company, so I cannot thank you enough for being a part of the show. Break a leg with cartoon. I can't wait to see it. I can't see what this will become, because it's such an incredible production. So please get your tickets now, and we will see you at the theater for the Bergen Alumni Theater Company's production of Cartoon. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Ethan and Allie, for being here.
Thank you.
You.